Hey folks, and welcome back to KKR Renewables Metal Recovery Channel. Today we're going to be taking apart another 2900 series Cisco router. This time though, instead of pointing out specific things to take apart, because I've already done that and you can go back and look at my previous video on this style of router, I'm just going to show you start to finish everything I take out of this router in sped up time. It takes me about 2 hours to go through all this, and no way I want to show you all that in real time. So I'll probably go through 50 or 60 times, maybe faster than that, just to get the video at a reasonably watchable length. But I thought you might be interested in seeing what all I take apart from here. I've came into quite a large cache of these, so I've got a lot of repetitive motion, and I've got a lot of really detailed knowledge of what's in these, what I want to take out, and how to get out and how to get at that pretty proficiently. All right, so let's go ahead and start our timer and we'll get started. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the memory first. Then we're going to take those heat sinks off of the gold corner BGAs, pop those off. Let's go ahead and take out all the screws. A lot of screws on these. And then we're going to slide out the fan assembly. The fan assembly doesn't really have much value except for the copper in the fans themselves, but I didn't want to send that off to the steel shred, so I've just pulled all that out. More screws on the back of the router. Just get everything taken out and all the steel put where it belongs. None of this is stainless steel. This is an expansion card. I'm going to pull those out and pull out those daughter boards. Let's take the expansion card apart. The expansion card has aluminum as its housing there, so I just pulled that out. I'm going to pop off the copper grounding plates. All right, let's go ahead and pull out the power supply. Power supply has a little bit in it of finding of use. There's a nice big copper coil in there, easy to get out. So I'll take that, and I'll take the switch out. The switch has silver contacts in it. Let's go ahead and get that motherboard popped out of there, and then I'm going to take out this. It's an aluminum mounting plug. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's a bear to get out, but it does take pliers and a wrench. We're going to go ahead and take out the memory card slots now. There's nice gold pins on there. I'll use a chisel to get those up. Going to put those nice and cleanly up in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to work on the expansion card slots next. We'll go ahead and remove the shielding from that, and then we have to pry those plug covers up where the daughter cards will plug into that motherboard there. It takes a bit to get at that. There's lots of shielding around there. I'll pry each one of those up with the chisel, fold those back, and I'll pull the pins out of those plugs. So you see me removing the plugs now, and now I'm going to take the individual pins and I'm going to pull them out of the plugs. There are a lot of pins that'll come out and they'll break off, and I want to make sure that I get each one of those out of those molded plugs. They're fully plated pins. They look really nice and shiny. They're not really showing up that well here on the camera, but when I first did this and I found them, I thought, wow, these things look pretty good. Then I'll take my tin snips and I'll cut the rest of the wires off. I understand there might be platinum or palladium plating on these as well. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not. But I want to go ahead and make sure I get all those pins. Next thing I do is I go through, I just kind of clean up my bench, make sure I get all those pins that have fallen and broken away. I'm going to go ahead and take apart the back plane power connectors. We'll take all that steel and whatnot, and we'll just put it back in this router. There's a nice little cavity there to put all the shred steel back in. All these pins, just those plugs just plug into the boards, and they're pretty easy to get the pins out of. I just showed you there the gold plating on one of the wide power connectors. There's gold plating on all of these pins. So I go ahead and pull those out as well. They're not gold plated on both sides, but when when you take them apart and you open both sides of each leaf, they look like pretty good gold plating. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of these. There's 2 of those power connectors on each one of these small little boards, and then there's the other connectors that I'm taking apart right now. I'm just going after each individual pin and putting every single pin in this large pill bottle that I have. It is kind of time consuming and tedious. Like I said, it takes me a while to go through each one of these. I try to separate all the different metals as I can. As you can see here, I'm pulling apart each one of those plugs and getting all the pins off, taking all the plastic and just throwing the plastic away. Next thing I'll do is I'll go after the pins on the bottom of the motherboard. Takes me, first time I did this, it took me about 10 minutes to take all these individual pins out. They're made of 2 different parts. The top part is fully gold plated. The bottom part is not. I don't know if it's plated with palladium or platinum or anything along those lines, but I just pull the entire pin out until I can get that white plug out. And as you can see, it takes me a bit. Once I get a good rhythm going, it goes by a lot faster than it did. Like I said, it used to take me about 10 minutes. Now maybe 5 to 7 minutes to take these apart. I break off the mounting brackets for the memory slots, and I also break off the network connectors. They don't really have good gold in them at all, but what I really want to do is I want this board to be as flat as it can possibly be so I can lay it flat when I store it. I'm just about done processing this, so I'll pull off all the capacitors as well and get the board nice and flat. So once I'm done with that, I pull off one last connector, snap the gold pins off of that, and then I'm done with that piece. Take everything that I can possibly find and just snug it back into the router itself. All right, then I'll process these things in here, and it stores really nicely. I'll take this out and store the power supplies separately, but all my circuit boards, I just store them in here for later processing. Kind of sort them. Really no point in keeping this one. I'm going to keep it anyway and just send them all to the recycler at the same time. I'll get these off with the heat gun later. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.